नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामीति नाम नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणचारिणि निर्विशेषशून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. Welcome you all of you for our morning Bhagavatam session. So we'll be reading today 17th chapter. So we have completed the 16th chapter where the description of Jambudvipa is given. Now we'll see the about other Ganges. So this is a very simple chapter to understand. I will try to give you a overview of it. So basically, this is uh, it is telling about Mother Ganges, about her descent, and then how different prayers are offered. So how it is flowing from the Lord Vamana's toenails, and then there is a cosmic map of Mount Meru and nine Varshas, and the river branches are described. Then how Dhruva Maharaj, seven sages, Lord Shiva, all of them, how they are worshipping this Mother Ganges. And so here, Lord Shiva himself demonstrated the supremacy of pure devotional service. So these are the themes. And so here I will just write for you the sections of this chapter. So these are the sections. And then here River Ganges serves as a central thread connecting the transcendental, that is Vishnupada, with the terrestrial, like spiritual world and material world. The connection is Ganges, because Ganges water is flowing and different planetary systems from upper planet till lower planet, will Patal Loka, from Brahmaloka to Patal Loka. If there is any way to travel, this is the connection is Mother Ganges. If you remember in the third canto, when Vidra is asking Maitreya, then Maitreya gives a reference. He says, four Kumaras from Tappoloka, they traveled to Patal Loka and met Sankarshana. And they say, how did they travel? They traveled through Ganges and their heads were wet. That's what it is mentioned, because they came through the water. So that is a channel of traveling. So Mother Ganges passes through all these 48 planetary systems. So if you go up, you go to higher planet system. You go down, you go to lower planet system. That's how it is. So Ganges is called Vishnupadi, the transcendental river. The Ganges originate from causal ocean outside the universe. It enters the hole made by Lord Vamana's toenails. So, and having washed the lotus feet of Lord, the water is inherently purifying. It is simultaneously pure. So, right for him. So, it is simultaneously purifies those who touch it, yet remains ever pure itself. The river is called Vishnupadi, born from Vishnu's feet, also known as Jhanavi and Bhagirathi. Bathing in the Ganges purifies both externally, immunity to diseases, and internally, growth of devotional attitude. So, this is what about Prabhupada writes actually that. So this is just a overview for this chapter. Like Prabhupada is telling, the thousands who live on the Ganges bank are undoubtedly being purified, both spiritually and materially. The sacred rivers of India, Yamuna, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, Narmada, similarly elevate the consciousness of those near them. And today is, according to some calendar, there is Akshay Tritiya also, yesterday and today, both days. And this is the day Mother Ganges, she uh, came to this part of this universe. So Bhagiratha, he called Ganges to the earthly realms. It was in the heavenly planets, and today only she appeared. And coincidentally, we are also reading about Mother Ganges today only. So we may get some blessings of Mother Ganges because we are discussing about her on this very auspicious day. So, and then other theme that is there in this is about the supremacy of bhakti or jnana and karma. That is the next part of. So, these are the two themes uh, that are there. So, we'll come to it. So, we'll go with the verse. So, the first verse, it is talking about. So, the Goswami is telling that, my dear king, Lord Vishnu, the enjoyer of all sacrifices, appeared as Vamanadev in the sacrificial arena of Bali Maharaj. Then he extended his left foot to the end of the universe and pierced a hole in its covering with a nail of his big toe. Through the hole, the pure water of the causal ocean entered this universe as Ganges River. Having washed the lotus feet of the Lord, which are covered with reddish powder, the water of the Ganges acquired a very beautiful pink color. Every living being can immediately purify his mind of material contamination by touching the transcendental water of Ganges. Yet its water remain ever pure. Because the Ganges directly touches the lotus feet of the Lord, being descending within this universe, she is known as Vishnupadi. Later she received other names like Jhanavi, Bhagirathi. After 1000 millenniums, the water of Ganges descended to Dhruvaloka, the topmost planet in the universe. Therefore, all learned sages and scholars proclaim Dhruvaloka to be Vishnupada, situated on the Lord Vishnu's lotus feet. So it took 1000 millenniums for Ganges to reach from the celestial. When Vamandev pierced, so the water descended. So it took almost 1000 millenniums. That means from Satyaloka it is coming. That's why it took so much time. So as soon as it pierced Satyaloka, the water entered Satyaloka. Brahma also washed the lotus feet of Lord. So both water mixed. So when Lord Vamana extended the feet, so Brahma could also see the feet of the Lord coming because it is Satyaloka. As soon as he saw the lotus feet of Lord, he did Abhishekam to it. And then the lotus feet went further up and pierced the Viraja river. So there, both the water, it joined and it became Ganges. And it took 1000 millenniums to reach Dhruvaloka, which is the pivot for all the heavenly planets. All the heavenly planets, Svargaloka and all the celestial planets, they revolve around Dhruvaloka. So it is in this verse, Sudhir Goswami describes the golis of Ganges river. The water of Ganges is called Patita Pavani, the deliverer of all sinful living beings. It is a proven fact that persons who regularly bathe in Ganges is purified both externally and internally. Externally, his body becomes immune to all kinds of diseases, and internally, he gradually develops a devotional attitude toward the Supreme Lord. Throughout India, many thousands of people live on the banks of Ganges, and by regularly bathing in their waters, they are undoubtedly being purified both spiritually and materially. Many sages, including Shankaracharya, have composed prayers in praise of Ganges. And the land of India itself has become glorious because such rivers as the Ganges, Yamuna, Godavari, Kaveri, Krishna, and Narmada flow there. Anyone on the land Adjacent to the rivers is naturally advanced in spiritual consciousness. Madhvacharya says, Varahe Vama Padam tu tad Anyeshu tu Dakshinam Padam Kalpeshu Bhagavan Ujhara Trivikramaha. Standing on his right foot and extending his left to the edge of the universe, Lord Bhavana became known as Trivikrama, the incarnation who performed three heroic deeds. Trivikrama. So he gave kingdom to Indra, he punished Bali, and he released Mother Ganges. So that's why there's the three uh, very special deeds, three heroic deeds. So here we will just summarize this. So Shankaracharya and Madhvacharya, Prabhupada is quoting both acharyas for referring this. And he says Dhruva Maharaj, the famous son of Maharaj Uttanapada, is known as the most exalted devotee of the Supreme Lord. Because of firm determination in executing devotional service, knowing that sacred Ganges water washed the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu, Dhruva Maharaj, situated on his own planet, who is very they accept that water on his head with great devotion because he constantly thinks of Krishna very devotedly within the core of his heart. He is overcome with ecstatic anxiety. Tears flow from his half opened eyes and eruption appears on his entire body. So, yeah, so this is Dhruva Maharaj is very happy to get Ganges because first person to get in the heavenly realm after the higher planetary systems. Then the heavenly realm comes where Dhruva Maharaj is the first person. When a person is firmly fixed in devotional service of the Supreme Lord, he is described as Veera Vrata, fully determined. Such a devotee increases his ecstasy in devotional service more and more. Thus, as soon as he remembered Lord Vishnu, his eyes filled with tears. This is a symptom of Mahabhagavata. Dhruva Maharaj maintained himself in the devotional ecstasy, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us a practical example of transcendental ecstasy when he lived in Jagannath Puri. His pastimes are fully narrated in Chaitanya Charitamrita. The seven great sages, Marichi, Vasishtha, Atri, and so on, reside on the planet beneath Dhruvaloka, well aware of the influence of the waters of Ganges. To this day, they keep Ganges water on the tuft of hair on their heads. They have concluded that this is the ultimate wealth, the perfection of all austerities, the best means of protecting transcendental life. Having obtained uninterrupted devotional service to Supreme Lord, they neglect all other beneficial processes like religion, economic development, sense gratification, and even merging into the Supreme. Just as Gyanis think they merge into existence of Lord is the highest truth, these seven exalted personalities accept devotional service as the perfection of life. So this in the second verse we heard that how Dhruv Maharaj is accepting and he's showing the symptoms of ecstasy, and Prabhupada is telling about the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also showing, and then this is the ultimate wealth. So what is we may say how you are given some gold, you are given some food, you are given some material comforts, and how this water is more special than these things. And we know that Dhruva Loka is there, and Saptarishi Mandal also we all see, which is also below the Dhruva Loka. So now how to understand that material things are not valuable compared to Mother Ganges. So here they are considering it more wealth, ultimate wealth, perfection of all austerities, and the best means of prosecuting transcendental life. Because whatever you get in this material world, it is part of Maya only. So why to so these people, they understand that we are just affected by Maya. That's all. So this is the Maya's arrangement for from the Lord. So Lord is arranging Maya so that we can whatever suffer or enjoy in this material world. So this is Lord's arrangement for living entities to continue here. But a person who is transcendentalist, they understand that we have better things to enjoy in the spiritual realm. So that's why they are interested in this. So even just the meditation on the spiritual realm gives millions of times more happiness than the material realm happiness. So that is the difference. So they experience great joy and satisfaction in doing this service for the Lord. And so we have to understand the difference because they are already in heaven. So everybody is aspiring for heavenly happiness in this material world. But here we see it is considered the ultimate wealth. Just water is ultimate wealth. If you say, okay, exchange with Akshay Tritiya 1 kilo of gold and few drops of Ganges water, the sages will say, yes, give us Ganges water. And for us, at least I can tell for myself, I'll say 1 kilo gold looks more prospective. Why? Because that bliss is not experienced. So they are not feeling that is a perfection of, I am not feeling, at least perfection of my life is getting this Ganges water. So that is the problem. So transcendentalists are divided into two primary groups. The Nirvisheshavada or impersonal bhaktas are devotees. Impersonal do not accept spiritual variety of life. They want to merge into existence of Supreme Brahma. The devotees, however, desire to take part in transcendental activities of Supreme Lord. In the upper planetary system, the topmost planet is Dhruvaloka, and beneath Dhruvaloka are the seven planets occupied by great sages, beginning with Marichi, Vasishtha, and Atri. All these sages regard devotional service as the highest perfection of life. Therefore, they all carry the holy water of Ganges on their head. This verse proves that for one who has achieved the platform of pure devotion service, nothing else is important. You see, so they feel that, here Kaivalyam Narakayate, Siddha Swami says, Tridasha Pura Akasha Pushpayate, Durdan Dendri Akala Swarpa Patali Prokta Damshayate, Vishwam Purna Sukayate, Vidhi Mahendradi Chakitayate, Yat Karunya Kataksha Vaibhava Tam Gaurav Eva Sutam. This is Chaitanya Chandrodaya Natika. Chaitanya Chandramitra, sorry. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has perfectly initiated and broadcasted the process of Bhakti Yoga. Consequently, for one who has taken shelter at the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the highest perfection of Mayavadis, Kaivalyam, or becoming one with the Supreme is considered hellish. To say nothing of the karmis aspiring to be promoted to heavenly planets. Devotees consider such goals to be worthless phantasmagoria. There are also yogis who try to control their senses, but they can never succeed without coming to the stage of devotional service. The senses are compared to poisonous snake, but the senses of a bhakta engaged in service of Lord are like snakes with their poisonous fangs removed. The yogis try to suppress his senses, but even great mystics like Vishwamitra failed in the attempt. So this is a very important purpose writing. So this we will try to make it more simplified. So here it is said that having attained uninterrupted bhakti, so Uh, so this is very important, that is the way to make us free from all these sufferings of this world. And then we have the next verse saying that after purifying the seven planets near Dhruvaloka, the Ganges water is carried through the spaceways of demigods in billions of celestial aeroplanes. Then it inundates the moon, Chandraloka, and finally reaches Lord Brahma's abode above Mount Meru. So after Chandraloka comes Meru mountain. In Meru mountain, it's like it's like a hill station for celestials. So everybody has their own apartments. Like apartments means resorts. Like if you see rich people, na, there are some very hill station like Shimla, Manali, or Uti, or some other places where Lonavala, where rich people, na, they purchase they have their farmhouses or their resorts. So like that, the top of Mount Meru is like considered a very, very special place. So all the celestials, demigods, they have their place. So Brahma has his own place. Brahmaloka is there, but this is way below Brahmaloka. It is in Swargaloka planetary system, just below Swargaloka. It is in a Bhuvarloka, not even Swargaloka. It is Bhuvarloka planetary system because after Chandraloka it is coming down further. So it is Bhuvarloka planetary system, and I will just draw for you how it is because then this purport it is. So here we have Brahmaloka planet system, this is Janaloka, Maharloka, and Tapaloka planet systems. So this is Brahmaloka, Janaloka, Loka, Tapoloka, and Brahmaloka. So this is how the planet systems are uh, there. So then comes the Dhruvaloka. And then all the other planetary systems, all the stars and other planetary systems, they all revolve around this Dhruvaloka planetary systems. So this is Swargaloka. And then comes the uh, Bhuvarloka. So here, na, Mount Meru's top is at Bhuvarloka and it goes down. So then we have Bhuloka. So this is where we are there. So here is Dhruvaloka. Swargaloka is where moon is there. And this sun is there. So you might have heard this. So first Ganges came here, Brahmaloka, and then it took almost how many 100 million celestial years to reach to Dhruvaloka. And from Dhruvaloka it came to the Swargaloka planet system. This is all Saptarishi Mandal is also there. So Saptarishi Mandal, everything is there in this. All the stars we are seeing, no? This is all at the Swargaloka planet systems. And then there is moon. So from Dhurvaloka it came to moon. Moon it came to, this is the top of Mount Meru. So this part is the top of Mount Meru. So here all the demigods, everybody has their own resorts. So then it is coming to this part. That's what it is told here. So from Dhruvaloka, the Ganges water is carried through spaceways of demigods in billions of celestial aeroplanes. First it inundates moon, finally reach Brahma's abode on top of Mount Meru. So this part. So here it's all stars and planets and this is Swargaloka planetary system. Okay. So this is how to be understood. And then further it says, we should also remember that the Ganges water comes from celestial ocean beyond the covering of universe. After the water of coastal ocean leaks through the hole created by Lord Vamana, it flows down to Dhruvaloka and then to seven planets beneath Dhruvaloka. Then it is carried to the moon by innumerable celestial aeroplanes. And then it falls to the top of Mount Meru, which is known as Sumeru Parvat. In this way, the water of Ganges finally reaches the top planets and the peaks of Himalayas, from where it flows towards Haridwar and through the plains of India, purifying the entire land. How the Ganges water reaches the various planets from top of the universe is explained here. Celestial aeroplanes carry the water from the planet of the sages to other planets. So-called advanced scientists of modern age are trying to go to higher planets, but at the same time, they are experiencing a power shortage on Earth. If they were actually capable scientists, they could personally go by aeroplane to other planets, but this they are unable to do so. Having now given up their moon excursions, they are attempting to go to other planets, but without success. So it is not possible to reach for them because it's in a different realm only. So that's why they don't have access. Whatever they are seeing, they may think it is going, but they are not able to go only because it's completely different situation. On the top of Mount Meru, Ganges divides into four branches, each of which gushes in a different direction, east, west, north. So these branches are known as Sita, Alaknanda, Chakshu, and Bhadra. So here what we discussed is, I will just show for you. So here the Ganges water fall on Mount Meru. So on the top of Mount Meru, if you take this is top of Mount Meru. So then the Ganges is divided into four directions: east, west, north, south. So the water falls here, and then this is top of Mount Meru. So it is going in four different directions. And it will be further explained which direction what is there. And the branches of Ganges known as Sita flows through Brahmapuri top Mount Meru, and from there it runs down to the nearby peaks of Keshachala Mountains, Kesharachala Mountains, which stands almost at heights of Mount Meru itself. These mountains are like branches of filaments around Mount Meru. From Kesharachala mountain, the Ganges falls to the peaks of Gandhamadana mountain and flows into land of Bharatavarsha. Finally, it reaches the ocean of salt water in the east. So this is what is happening with Mother Ganges here. And then other branches are also explained. Then we will just take the branch of Ganges known as Chakshu falls into the summit of Malayava mountain, and from there this cascades into the land of Ketumala Varsha. The Ganges flows incessantly through Ketumala Varsha and in this way reaches the ocean of salt water in the west. Actually, if you see, the tributaries and distributaries of Ganges is supporting one-fifth of world's population even now. Because if you take the population of Bangladesh, India, so the whole North India to India and Bangladesh. So both are supported by Ganges. So it approximately comes one uh, sixth or one-fifth of the world's population. So because India itself is having no 1 billion. The world's population is 6 billion, India is 1. So whole North India. I am counting not just river Ganges, I am counting its distributaries and tributaries. all which are the rivers originating from Himalayas like Yamuna, Ganga, and other like uh, what do you call uh, uh, the Sarayu, Gandaki. So all these are they all come into Ganges only. They mix with Ganges. So then it becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So it supports this much population. So even now there is a uh, three parts documentary in BBC, I think Discovery or I think BBC channel, I think, on Ganges only. It's a very nice, interesting research and documentary on Mother Ganges. So how it is starting, how it is flowing, and all. So it was so in that when all these things are described, we could see that on Ganges. I when I was in maybe yeah some very long back I saw this. The branch of Ganges known as Bhadra flows from north side of Mount Meru. Its water flows into the peaks of Kumuda Mountain, Mount Nila, Sweta Mountain, and uh, Shringavan Mountain in succession. Then it runs down into the province of Kuru, and after crossing through that land, flows into the saltwater ocean in the north. So this is how the path goes. Similarly, the branch of Ganges known as Alakananda flows to the southern part, Brahmapuri. So which we are in the southern part. So that's why here Ganges is called Alakananda. Brahma Sadhana. Passing over the tops of mountain in various lands, it falls down with fierce force onto the peaks of the mountains Hemakuta and Himakuta. After inundating tops of these mountains, the Ganges falls down onto the tract of land known as Bharatavarsha, which she also inundates. When the Ganges flows into the water of salt water in the south, persons who come in bathe in this river are fortunate. It is not very difficult for them to achieve with every step the results of performing great sacrifices like Rajasuya and Ashwamedha. So that is Ganga Saga. Prabhupada writes about it. The place where Ganges flows into salt water of Bay of Bengal is still known as Ganga Sagar, or the meeting place of Ganges and Bay of Bengal. On Makar Sankranti in the month of January, February, thousands of people still go there to bathe, hoping to be liberated. They then can actually be liberated in this way is confirmed herein. For those who bathe in Ganges at any time, the result of great sacrifice like Ashwamedha and Rajya are not at all difficult to achieve. Most people in India are still inclined to bathe in Ganges, and there are many places where they can do so. At Prayag, many thousands of people get gathered during month of January to bathe in confluence of Ganges Yamuna. After many of them go to confluence of Bay of Bengal and Ganges to take bath there. Thus, it is a special facility for all people of India that they can bathe in water of Ganges at so many places of pilgrimage. So this is Kumbh Mela also happened. So there are many other rivers, both small and big, flow from the top of Mount Meru. These rivers are like daughters of mountains, and they flow at various tracts of land, hundreds of branches. So that's what I was telling, that there are many distributaries and tributaries of Mother Ganges. And then here, among the nine Varshas, the tract of land of Bhartavarsha is understood as the field of fruitive activities. Learned scholars and saintly persons declare the other eight Varshas to be meant for very highly elevated pious persons. After returning from the heavenly planets, they enjoy the remaining results of their pious activities in these nine Varsha, earthly Varshas. So this is uh, so heavenly realm also there is pleasure, and if the credit is not its credit is completed, still you have something pious, then you can come to this earthly realm. So I'll just write for you these things, how the flow is happening, and then we'll go. So this is the branches and path. This is what is explained in the last fifth, sixth, seventh, and eighth, ninth, four verses. So Brahmapuri, Keshachala, Gandamadana, Bhartavarsha, sorry, Bhadrashrava, and East Salt Ocean. And then Malayavana mountain and Ketumala and West Sound, like that. North Meru, Kumuda, Neela, Sweta, and North Salt. And here, which we are in south, Hemakuta, Himakuta, Bhartavarsha, and into Bay of Bengal. So now about the heavenly realm. The Prabhupada says heavenly enjoyment are divided to three groups. The heavenly, celestial heavenly planets, the heavenly places on the earth, the Bilva heavenly planets, that is, which are found in the lower realms, regions. Among these three classes of heavenly places, Bhu, Swarga, and Padani, the heavenly places on earth are the 8 Varshas after that Bhartavarsha. Krishna says, Kshine Punya Mrityalokam Vashanti. When a person living in heavenly planet exhausts the results of their pious activity, they return to this earth. In this way, they are elevated to the heavenly planets and they again fall down to the earthly planet. The process is known as Brahmanda Brahmana, wandering up and down. So they take, so this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saying, "Ye Rupa Brahmanda Brahmate Kona Bhagyavan Jeev Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach." So Guru is very important to come out of all these things. Guru must be direct representative of Krishna. So Prabhupada took this verse to explain about Guru and Guru's mercy. So how important it is to Guru. So this whole purport is about taking shelter of spiritual master, even though the it is talking about heavenly realm and material realm. Prabhupada is giving entirely a different perception. How bhakti is very important and we should not get stuck up in these things. In the in these 8 Varshas, that means there are total 9 Varshas. In that, one is Bharata Varsha. So apart from this other Varshas, the other tracts of land, human beings live 10,000 years according to earthly calculation. All the inhabitants are almost like demigods. They have bodily strength of 10,000 elephant. Indeed, their bodies are as sturdy as thunderbolts. The youthful duration of their life is very pleasing, and both men and women enjoy sexual union with great pleasure for a long time. After many years of sensual pleasure, when the balance of 1 year life remains, the wife conceives a child. That the standard of pleasure for the residents of this heavenly realm is exactly like that of human beings who lived during Treta Yuga. So this is how the explanation is given. So Prabhupada write about material pleasures. He says that people enjoy sense pleasure without tribulations in Dwapara and Treta Yuga. Material miseries began in Dwapara Yuga. So in Treta Yuga, it was not much material distress, but they are not very stringent. Stringent material miseries really began after the advent of Kali Yuga, and we are seeing also how struggle we are to do. Another point in this verse is that in all 8 of these heavenly Varshas, although men and women enjoy sex pleasure, there is no pregnancy. Pregnancy takes place only in lower grade life. For example, animals like dogs and hogs become pregnant twice a year, and each time they beget at least half dozen of offsprings. Even Lower species of life, such as snakes, give birth to thousands of young at once. This verse informs us that in grades of life higher than ours, pregnancy occurs once in a lifetime. People still have sex life, but there is no pregnancy. In the spiritual world, people are not very attracted to sex life due to their exalted devotional attitude. Practically speaking, there is no sex life in spiritual world, but even if sometimes it does occur, there is no pregnancy at all. On the planet Earth, however, human beings do become pregnant. Although the tendency is to avoid children, in this sinful age of Kali, people have even taken to process of killing the child in the womb. This is the most degraded practice, and it can only perpetuate the miserable material condition of those who perform it. So this is a very interesting point. Prabhupada is telling that in the higher realms, this is because their bodies are not for not so much punishment. Of course, material body itself is punishment, but relatively less punishment, and because of which they can enjoy so much. So that means they're paid for the enjoyment. That's why they don't need to. Uh, they already paid for enjoyment. So that's why they can enjoy unrestrictedly. In earthly realm, what is that? Is we did not pay for it. When we enjoy, we pay. Means after enjoyment, we are paying. So that's why if somebody enjoys, a man and woman come together, they enjoy, then there is pregnancy. That means you are paying afterwards. So then how many times, how many children you have, that much responsibility, and then after some time there is no enjoyment, only responsibility remains in family life. So that's how the things are happening here. So like a person, he enjoyed and he had two, three children, and now then enjoyment is gone and only children are remaining, which is a responsibility. But heavenly realm, it's not like that. Even if the child is born, once in a lifetime the child is born, they immediately grow. There is no pain for mother while conceiving the child, and she will not have to uh, we see when Indra was serving Diti and 49 Maruts are born. And they were actually in the womb of Mother Diti. Indra goes and cuts, kills them, trying to kill them, make into seven parts. And again, they are alive. We make each part into seven times, and then 49 are born. And Diti is sleeping that time, and then they came out. And when they woke up, then she saw all the 49 children and Indra are out. She didn't came to know only. Means there is no such pain, labor pains, and all these things in the heavenly realm. They just and just by thinking only the children come, and that is the speciality there. So the point is the that is that body is not meant for so much punishment like Prabhupada's writing here that especially so that's why they can enjoy nicely and prosper. So here uh, some points I will just add some notes for you. So this Bhartavarsha is a field of activity. So and three types of Swargas. So after this verse I learned. So it is said, this is an interesting verse. In each of these tracts of land, there are many gardens filled with flowers and fruits according to the season. And there are beautifully decorated hermitages as well. Between the great mountains, demarcating the boundaries of those lands, lie enormous lakes of clear water filled with newly grown lotus flowers. Aquatic birds such as swans, ducks, water chicken, cranes become greatly excited with the fragrance of lotus flowers, and the charming sound of bumblebees fill the air. The inhabitants of those tract lands are important leaders among demigods. Always attended by their respective servants, they enjoy life in gardens alongside the lakes. In this pleasing situation, the wives of the demigods smile playfully at their husband and look upon them with lusty desires. All the demigods and their wives are constantly supplied with sandalwood pulp and flower garden by the servants. In this way, all the residents of the eight higher planetary higher Varshas enjoy, attracted by the activities of the opposite sex. So the only job they do is enjoy. They don't have any purpose in life. So Prabhupada writes here, see, here is the description of heavenly planets on earth. The inhabitants of these tracts of land enjoy life in a pleasing atmosphere of clear lakes filled with newly grown lotus flowers and garden filled with flowers, fruits, various kinds of birds and humming roses. In that atmosphere, they enjoy life with their beautiful wives who are always sexually stimulated. Nonetheless, they are all devotees of Supreme Lord, as will be explained in subsequent verses. The inhabitants of Bharatavarsha are also desired such heavenly enjoyment. But when they somehow or other achieve imitation pleasure like section intoxication, they completely forget the service of Supreme Lord. In the heavenly places or earth, however, although the residents enjoy superior sense gratification, they never forget their position as eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. So this is the advantage. People enjoy, but not without remembering the Supreme Lord, then they go to Bilva Sargas. So lower realms also there is heavenly pleasure available. Up also there is heavenly pleasure available. Difference is upper heavenly pleasure, they are very sattvic, very conscious about the Lord. Lower ones, they are not so sattvic and conscious. So that is the problem there. So I'll just add these notes for you. So Bharatavarsha, it's a field of activity, and there are eight Varshas apart from Bharatavarsha, and then they live for 10,000 years, strength is 10,000 elephants, and all this. So once in a pregnancy, and residents of Bharatavarsha who seeks heavenly planets, they forget Krishna. So this is the problem. So we'll go for the next verse. This is simple to understand, so I'm not making big themes here. Of course, actually, I have a theme to give an overview of fifth canto till chapter 14. So I will see once we finish this chapter, then I will give the overview of, so that because we till after 15th onwards, it's all structure of this universe. So before that, there is a different story only. So I thought we will just go through it. We will see if time permits today, then otherwise tomorrow. To show mercy to his devotees in each of these nine tracts of land, Supreme Lord known as Narayana expands himself in his quadruple principles of Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and in this way he remains near his devotees to accept their service. In this connection, Vishwanath Chakra Thakur informs us that demigods worship the Supreme Lord and his various deity forms, Archa Vigraha. Because, except in the spiritual world, Supreme Lord cannot be directly worshipped in person. In material world, Lord is always worshipped as Archa Vigraha or deity in the temple. There is no difference between Archa Vigraha and the original person. Therefore, those who are engaged in worshipping the deity in temple in full opulence, even on this planet, should be understood to be directly in touch with Supreme Lord without a doubt. Acha Vishnu Shiladi Gurushu Naramati. No one should treat the deity in the temple as stone or metal, nor should one think that the spiritual master is ordinary human being. One should strictly follow this Shastric injunction and worship the deity, the Supreme Lord, without offenses. So, the spiritual master is direct representation of Lord, and no one should consider him ordinary human being. So, very important purpose is by avoiding offenses against deity and spiritual master, one can advance in spiritual life. So, Lag Bhagavatam says this very huge verse there. Padayedhi chaturshete vasudevadayo mayuh chatvara katita karmat तथा पादाविभूतश्च नवश्यन्ति कर्मादि मे जलाविस्ता विकुण्ठ वैकुण्ठ स्थितवेदितपुरे सत्योद्भर्विष्णवे लोके नित्याप्ते द्वारकापुरे शुद्धोदा उत्तरा श्वेते द्वीपे चैरावतीपुरे क्षीरं स्थितान्ते क्रोधप्रयङ्कधामनि सात्वितीये क्वचित्तन्त्रे नैव व्यूहापति प्रतिकृता चत्वारो वासुदेवाय नारायणानिशं कुटौ हयग्रीवो महाक्रोधो ब्रह्मा चेति नवोदितः तत्र ब्रह्मा तु विज्ञेया पूर्वोक्तो विदिता हरे. In the Padma Puran, it is said that the spiritual world is the Supreme Lord, personally expanded in all directions, and is worshipped by Vasudeva Sankarsana Padmanabha. So here there is Vaikuntha Loka covered with water in this material world, and on this planet is called Vedavati, where Vasudeva is located. Another planet known as Vishnuloka is situated above Satyaloka, and there Sankarshan is present. So here different forms of Lord are within this material realm also. So within the deity, first is this Vaikuntha Loka covered here. First is Vasudeva. He is located above Satyaloka. Dwarakapuri Pradyumna is a predominating on the island known as Svetadvipa. This is milk ocean where all the demigods go and pray. This is Svetadvipa. It is one of the milk oceans. And in the midst of this ocean is a place called Airavati Puri, where Anidya lies on Ananta. In some of the Shashvata Tantras, the description of 9 Varshas and predominating deity Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Anuruddha, Narayana, Narasimha, Hayagriva, Mahavaraha, and Brahma. Lord Brahma mentioned his connection in Supreme Lord. There is no human, not hit. There is no fit human being. So sometimes Lord becomes Brahma. So this is different locations. I think when Pavaneshwar or somebody will take these charts and all, they will show you the locations exactly where the Vaikuntha Lokas in this realm are. One is Dhruva Loka, there where that is Svetadvip. And we have one more milk ocean in this in Bhumandala. There also Lord is situated. Above Brahmaloka is also situated. Like the three, four places Lord is situated in this in this earth realm. So yeah, I will show this map for you. So Vasudeva is Vedanti, planet covered with water. Sankarshana, Vishnuloka, above Satyaloka. Pradyumna is Dwarakapuri. Anuruddha is Svetadvipa. So this is the purport from this here. Sukadeva Goswami said, in the tract of land of Ilavata the only male person is Lord Shiva, the most powerful demigod. Goddess Durga, the wife of Lord Shiva, does not like any man to enter that land. If any foolish man dares to go do so, he immediately turns himself into a woman. I shall explain this later in the ninth canto. So there we will hear about this pastime. So the 11th Varsha, Lord Shiva is always encircled by 10 billion maid servants of goddesses Durga. Yeah, yeah, there is Svetadvipa in material world also. So that Svetadvipa is a Dhruvaloka. And one more milk ocean is we have seven oceans, seven islands. So in one of them is milk ocean. In that also there is one form of Lord. And above Satyaloka also here it is mentioned like that. So in 11th Varsha, Lord Shiva is always encircled by 10 billion maid servants of goddesses Durga. Can you imagine? Our earth population is 6 billion and here Lord Shiva is encircled 10 billion who uh, ministers to him. The quadruple expansion of Supreme Lord is composed of Vasudeva Padma the Sankarshana. Sankarsana, the fourth expansion is certainly transcendental, but because his activities of destruction in the material world are in mode of ignorance, he is known as Tamas. The Lord's form in the mode of ignorance. Lord Shiva knows that Sankarsana is the original call of his existence, and this he always meditate upon him in trance by chanting the following mantras. So from here it's a different section only. So till now it is about Ganges and then the heavenly realms and heavenly planets and earthly realms. So from here we will have a different section which explains about Lord Shiva's prayers. So this is from 15 to 24. So this will be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 verses are there. So I will take if you have any questions or comments, or I will take the contents of the structural review of fifth canto. That was my plan. So if you are not having anything, then go for this. Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is reciting in Svetadvipa, that is at Dhruvaloka. That's what I heard. They can further verify. So I will just go through this structural review of fifth canto, this note. If you are not having any questions, then we'll go for this. So here, fifth canto, living within boundaries to grow beyond them. That is the title. So Srimad Bhagavatam, this is, think I can, so that we can write somehow. So the first point, most important is fifth canto is about these two ideas. What is that? The structure of universe which we are discussing, and the previous section was the moral law in our heart. Are deeply connected. Understanding this connection. So the core teaching is respect your boundaries. So the example that is given is we need traffic signals, speed limits. They feels restrictive, but without them there would be chaos and accidents everywhere. So those boundaries don't imprison you, they protect you and everyone around you. So 50 canto teach something similar this. That means we have a certain nature shaped by our own qualities and past actions. So how our nature is formed? So based on the gunas and karmas. This nature itself isn't a cage. It's more like a river bank. The bank does not stop the river from flowing. It gives the river direction, strength and purpose. Another example Brahma tells to Maharaj Priyavrti is about like bulls guided by ropes tied to our nose. Bulls are powerful animals, but they need direction. If they wander off the path, a gentle pull of the rope brings them back. The rope in our life is a system of varnashrama, social spiritual order, and designed to keep us on the path to grow. So this is the most important thing that so you have to understand the whole theme of this canto. So this is the main theme to follow some guides. Now what is the problem? So first problem is the false renunciation. So here is the mistake many sincere spiritual seekers make. And it's actually the very first story of the fifth canto. What is that of Maharaj Priyavrata? He was a devoted young man. He thought, I am spiritually inclined. Why should I get married and enter family life? I want to renounce everything now. So that is his. The screen is frozen. I'll again share. Mm, mm, mm. Now you're able to see. So I didn't share only. Sorry. Now I think you are able to see. Yeah. So first thing is this is the thing, and now the problem is first problem is Priyavrat didn't want to enter into family life. He thought I can renounce. I want to renounce everything. And even Narada Muni was sympathetic with him. But Lord Brahma himself intervened and said, no, not, you are not ready. Like student want to skip school and join ashram or trying to get a PhD. The intention is good. There is a love for serving joining. But skipping the foundational step does not lead to wisdom. It leads to confusion. So Prevarth accepted family life, and interestingly, his name literally means one who is devoted to his vows of household. Priya Brata. That means devoted to his vows of household life. That is why his name is like. So he became extraordinarily powerful. Why? Because when you stop fighting your nature and work with it, your energies multiply instead of scattering. So this is the most important point. So we should not fight our nature. We should work with our nature. Like I have certain nature, we engage that nature in Krishna service. That is how working with nature is. Arjuna's nature was Kshatriya. So Krishna told you fight for me. And then Arjuna did best. Here Prevat was sitting and meditating. Krishna said no. Brahma said no. You engage your nature in Lord's service. And we can see he made seven oceans, seven islands, and many other things which are very helpful for the living entities who are in the material realm. So he could do such a great service like what Brahma could not do, he did. Brahma created plant system, but he could not make that partitions. Priyavrat made for Brahma. So he helped him. So lesson is that premature renunciation is not spiritual advancement, it's spiritual uh, impatience. And then there is second problem. Then danger of going the other way. Excessive attachment. That is his son, Maharaj Agnidhara. So Maharaj Agnidhara went to the opposite extreme. He becomes so deeply attached to a beautiful celestial woman that he wanted to follow her to a lower planetary realm rather than pursuing liberation. So the fifth canto is gives a both sides of the same coin. So one is premature attachment, which is Priyavrata, initial stage, and he wasted spiritual energy with his premature detachment in the initial stages. And excessive attachment is Agnidha, that is spiritual regressions. One is wasting, one is regression. So what is the path? Live according to our nature, fulfill our duties, and develop internally. And then comes the story of Bharat Maharaj. I think we will take this tomorrow. Uh, this is the interesting part. Okay, we'll just cover this Bhartamara and then go for the next one. So this is one of the most instructive and humbling stories in all of Bhagavatam. Bharat Maharaj did everything right. He was a great king. He ruled justly, performed sacrifices, then renounced the kingdom and retired to forest as a hermit. So you see, everything is doing perfect. He was meditating on the Lord with tears in his eyes, hair standing on end in devotion, and then a tiny deer falls into his life. He rescued an orphaned fawn, being caring for it, grew attached to it, and at the moment of death, his last thought was the deer. And what is the result? He was reborn as a deer, and now, uh, so how do we make sense of this? First is to teach us about the dangers of offenses. According to Jiva Goswami, a deep offense committed earlier left an impression so powerful that even decades of pure sadhana could not erase it. Can you imagine? If you commit Vaishnava Aparadh, even decades of pure sadhana cannot help us come out of it. Offenses are like spiritual buried, sorry, splinters buried deep in the skin. You may not feel them for years, but they surface at worst moment. So they put mines, and you don't know it. You are walking, you are blasted, you are blown up. So these offenses are like mines only. And you have dropped here and there, you don't know where they are. Anytime they'll come and create some chaos. So better don't drop any mines in your path to bhakti. That is like offenses. So, and important thing is, the second thing is, it shows the importance of association. Even if you do everything properly on the outside, without the company of elevated devotees, there is no driving force to lift you higher. The rules alone are not enough. You also need inspiration. And the third thing is, the Lord never abandons his devotees. So even as a deer, Bharata remembered his past life. He went to live near the sages and ascetics. Rather than trusting himself in isolation, he understood his own weakness. That is, my mind betrayed me before I wasn't. I won't give it that chance again. So, and this is wisdom, not self pity, not denial, just honest self awareness. And then we have Jadabarta's life that we will discuss tomorrow. Any questions, comments? Okay, thank you all very much. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।